Welcome back. Today, we dive into the shadows of Las Vegas, exploring two gripping true stories filled with danger, redemption, and the struggle for survival. From the bright lights to the darker corners of the city, discover the tales of those who dared to escape their pasts and confront their fears. If you enjoy stories that delve into true crime and human resilience, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
In the vibrant heart of Las Vegas, where the neon lights flicker like the hopes and dreams of countless visitors, a darkness lurked beneath the surface. The city, known for its glitz and glamour, also harbored secrets. And on one fateful night in October 2021, those secrets would spill into the streets, changing lives forever. Emily Reynolds, a 28-year-old cocktail waitress at the Bellagio, had always been drawn to the allure of Las Vegas. She moved from a small town in Nebraska, hoping to escape the mundane and embrace the excitement of the city. With her striking blue eyes and infectious laugh, Emily quickly became a favorite among patrons and colleagues alike. But beneath her cheerful exterior lay a relentless ambition. She was saving up for law school, determined to make a name for herself. One evening, after a long shift, Emily was leaving the casino when she noticed a commotion outside. A group of people had gathered near the entrance, eyes glued to the scene unfolding before them. Curiosity piqued, she edged closer, her heart racing as she caught sight of a man in a heated argument with a group of individuals. "Get out of my way!" the man shouted, his voice dripping with anger. His name was Marcus Varela, a known low-level drug dealer with a reputation for being volatile. Emily recognized him from the bar. He often sat in the corner, his demeanor always tense, as if he were waiting for something or someone. As she watched, the confrontation escalated. Marcus pulled out a knife, waving it threateningly. The crowd gasped, stepping back as adrenaline surged through the air. Emily's instincts kicked in. She knew she had to help defuse the situation. "Hey, just calm down!" she called out, hoping to reach him through the haze of rage. But Marcus was beyond reason. He lunged at one of the men, slicing through the air with a fury that sent shockwaves through the crowd. The victim, a young man named Alex, stumbled back, clutching his side as blood poured through his fingers. Panic erupted, and people scrambled to flee the scene. Emily's heart raced. She rushed to Alex's side, applying pressure to the wound, her hands trembling. "Stay with me, okay? Help is on the way," she urged, glancing around for someone to call 911. The sounds of sirens began to echo in the distance, but time felt suspended, a terrifying stillness enveloping the chaos. As Alex lay gasping for breath, the world around Emily faded. She focused on his face, willing him to hold on. "You're going to be okay," she repeated, though doubts crept in as she watched the light dim in his eyes. Just then, the police arrived, officers rushing in to assess the scene and secure the area. Marcus had fled, disappearing into the labyrinthine streets of Las Vegas, leaving behind a city illuminated by neon but shrouded in fear. The police quickly took control, tending to Alex and directing the chaos. Emily watched as paramedics loaded him into an ambulance, her heart heavy with dread. The days that followed were a blur of media coverage and fear. Alex had survived, but the incident rattled the community. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she had somehow failed him, and her nights were filled with nightmares of that fateful encounter. Determined to regain control over her life, she began volunteering at a local youth center, hoping to channel her energy into something positive. One evening, while mentoring a group of at-risk teens, she heard a familiar name. "Have you heard about Marcus?" a girl whispered, glancing around as if the name were a curse. "They say he's still out there, hiding in the shadows." Emily's heart raced. The thought of Marcus still roaming the streets sent chills down her spine. She learned that he had been implicated in a series of petty crimes since the stabbing, but law enforcement had yet to track him down. Determined to find closure, Emily began her own investigation, interviewing locals and piecing together Marcus's whereabouts. Her quest led her into the underbelly of Las Vegas, a world of drugs, violence, and desperation. she found herself in seedy bars and back alleys, surrounded by people who shared stories of Marcus's erratic behavior and violent outbursts. With each new lead, she felt more empowered, her fear transforming into resolve. One night, Emily received a tip that Marcus had been seen in a rundown motel off the Strip. Heart pounding, she decided to confront him, hoping to understand what drove him to violence. Armed with nothing but her determination, she ventured into the dimly lit motel, the air thick with tension. As she approached the door to his room, memories of the night Alex was attacked flooded her mind. She knocked, her heart racing, and after a moment of silence, Marcus opened the door. His eyes were wild, a mix of fear and surprise. "What do you want?" he spat, stepping back as if expecting trouble. "Marcus, I just want to talk," Emily said, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. "You hurt someone. I need to understand why." He laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Understand? You think you can understand me? I'm a product of this city, just like you. You think you're better than me?" His anger flared, and Emily sensed the danger lurking just beneath the surface. "I'm not better than you," she replied, her voice firm. "But you have a choice. You can stop running, stop hurting people. It doesn't have to end like this." For a moment, uncertainty flickered in his eyes. But then, his anger resurfaced, and he moved closer, invading her space. "You don't know what I've been through," he shouted, fists clenched. The tension escalated, and Emily felt a primal instinct to flee, but she stood her ground. "I may not know your past, but I know you can change," she implored, trying to reach the humanity within him. "It doesn't have to be this way. You can still turn things around." Echoes of the Strip. Las Vegas, a city that thrived on dreams, desires, and dazzling lights, had a hidden narrative that few ever saw. Beneath the glimmer of neon and the clamor of slot machines lay a world filled with desperation, crime, and the stories of those trying to escape their pasts. This is the story of Marcus Rivers, a man whose life would collide with the darker sides of Las Vegas, leading to a fateful night that would change everything. Marcus was not born in Las Vegas. He grew up in a small town in Arizona, where life was predictably dull. His dreams of something greater propelled him toward the allure of the Strip, promising excitement and adventure. When he turned 18, he packed his bags and moved to Las Vegas, ready to chase the thrill that seemed to pulse through the city. At first, Marcus found his place among the vibrant nightlife. He landed a job as a busboy at a popular casino, quickly working his way up to a bartender. His charm and good looks won him friends and admirers, and for a while, life seemed perfect. But the underbelly of the city soon revealed itself. Surrounded by temptation, Marcus fell into a world of excess, drugs, alcohol, and the kind of friendships that thrived on chaos. In the summer of 2020, after a particularly wild night, Marcus found himself deep in debt to a local gang that controlled parts of the Strip. He had borrowed money to fund his partying lifestyle, thinking he could repay it with the tips he earned. Instead, he spiraled further into a pit of desperation. As the gang's enforcers began to loom over him, Marcus felt the walls closing in. Feeling trapped, he sought solace in the only place he could think of, the streets of Las Vegas. He wandered aimlessly, reflecting on his life and the choices he had made. It was during one of these late-night walks that he met Lisa, a fellow lost soul. Lisa was a waitress at a nearby diner, and they quickly bonded over shared struggles and aspirations that seemed just out of reach. Lisa had her own demons. Addiction had claimed her family and left her in a precarious situation. But she and Marcus found a connection that felt genuine amidst the chaos. Together, they dreamed of a life away from the Strip, envisioning a future where they could escape the cycle of debt and addiction. One evening, as they sat on a park bench overlooking the bright lights of the Strip, Marcus shared his plan. "What if we just left this place?" he suggested, his voice filled with hope. "We could drive to California, start fresh somewhere away from all this." Lisa's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Let's do it! We can take my car and leave tonight!" But the reality of their situation soon crashed down on them. The gang was relentless, and as Marcus tried to distance himself, the pressure mounted. One night, while leaving the bar after his shift, he was ambushed by two menacing figures. "Thought you could just run away, huh?" one of them growled, shoving him against the wall. "You owe us money, and you're gonna pay." Marcus knew he was in deep trouble. He had a choice: confront the gang or flee with Lisa. He chose the latter, and with a heavy heart, they packed their belongings and left Las Vegas in the early hours of the morning. The road trip to California was filled with a mix of exhilaration and anxiety. They played music loudly, laughing and sharing stories, trying to forget the life they had left behind. But as the miles passed, the weight of their decisions settled heavily on their shoulders. When they finally arrived in Los Angeles, the reality of their new life began to sink in. They struggled to find jobs and make ends meet, living in a small, run-down motel on the outskirts of the city. The excitement of their escape quickly turned into a harsh reality as they faced the challenges of starting over. One night, after a particularly difficult day, Marcus found himself wandering the streets alone, searching for a sense of purpose. He stumbled upon a community center offering free meals and support for individuals in recovery. Intrigued, he stepped inside, hoping to find guidance. Inside, he met Jenna, a compassionate counselor who dedicated her life to helping people like Marcus. She listened to his story and offered him a glimmer of hope. "You're not alone in this," she assured him. "We all make mistakes, but it's what we do next that matters." Inspired by Jenna's words, Marcus began attending support meetings, determined to change his life. Lisa, too, found her way to the community center, and together they started to rebuild their lives. They found jobs, enrolled in recovery programs, and began to forge a new path away from the chaos of their past. But their newfound stability was tested when Marcus received an unexpected call from a number he hoped never to see again. It was a gang member from Las Vegas, his voice dripping with menace. "You thought you could just disappear? We know where you are. You owe us, and it's time to settle the score." Panic surged through Marcus. He shared the call with Lisa, and together they made the difficult decision to cut ties with their new lives. Fearing for their safety, they packed their belongings once more, leaving the fleeting comfort of Los Angeles behind. They drove north, hoping to find refuge in a small town away from the chaos of the city. They eventually settled in a quiet community in Northern California, far from the flashing lights and dangers of the Strip. With each passing day, they began to heal, finding jobs and building relationships with people who supported their journey.
Thanks for watching. If these stories captivated you, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more jaw-dropping tales. If you enjoy stories that delve into true crime and human resilience, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.